hey, it's Wes, and today it's time to look at the most extreme filter kit I have ever seen. When last we looked at an extreme filter kit from Freewell, we had this thing would magnetized everything together. It comes apart, it goes back together. It could do mist and V&D, but Freewell did not want to rest on its laurels. They're going to take it 9 steps further with the K2. We're going to have a real close look at the hardware, and then we're going to have a close look at how this works. I'm recording this at night, so we have some slightly smoother tones today. First, we start with this completely over-the-top filter case that will let you put in all the stuff that you're planning on using. And inside the case, we have our main system here, as well as our 2 V&D plates, and we'll look closer at those soon. So here we have the unit itself. We'll press this lock button to release the back cap, take that off, and then we'll pull on this. It's magnetic, it's Freewell, everything's always magnetic. So we'll take off that lens cap, and I'm going to insert the V&D base, and that will allow us to use our variable neutral density filters on here. And so if we put this so that if you're taking a picture, the numbers are legible to you. We'll spin it around until it drops in. There's a teeny tiny little arrow there. It's a bit too small. And then we have a hard stop at 1 and a hard stop at 5 for a no X scenario. After we look at the hardware here, we'll take a real close look on the performance of this. The base device itself is very nice. It feels very solid in the hand. There are some plastic bits, but they're quite firm, but it is mostly made out of machined aluminum. We'll put this V&D back in here. Oh, not yet. If I pop out the V&D base and put this back on backwards so that it no longer has the stops, now we have a circular polarizer, but that's not all. So I'm going to mount this on a lens just to give it something to attach to. And what lens should I mount it to? Because this thing is enormous. Well, it comes with a bunch of sizing rings. We have everything from 67 up to 82. So I have the 77 ring attached to my 85 G Master, lots of numbers. And then we just sink it into the back, press these buttons, and it slides into place. Now, my biggest nitpick for this device is to really lock it down, you have to use these little screw tabs. I feel like there could be something a little more dynamic than that. And you can see here, there is a spirit level that allows us to get this perfectly in line however our camera is set up. And then we'll lock that down with the screws. But there are so many accessories that you can put with this. There are different kits you can buy, and then you can buy things separately. So let's see what we have here on hand. We have the streak filter, which simulates like an anamorphic bloom and flare, which we've already been looking at. We have GND, the gradual neutral density filter. And we have a 1/4 glow mist filter, which was actually a lot more gentle than I expected. The 1/4 that came in their older system was very strong. This one is thankfully a little bit more gentle. So to use these square filters, let's start with our streak filter. There's a blue streak and a gold streak. I took the gold. I like the warmer look. You just crack open the top here and just slide it in, just like that. When you're done, you take it out, put it away. Now this GND is a bit bigger. So you crack open the top, you slide it in, but we ran out of space. That's why the bottom opens too. There we go. And then you can adjust according to taste. And if you want to lock it in, just kind of let these arms down a little bit, and it squeezes it into place. Let's take that out. These plates themselves are kind of thin aluminum. Let's try to bend it here. Yeah, it's got some give to it, but it's a glass filter. They give you a nice case for it, but I would not want to sit on that without it being in the case in my pocket. That would not be a good time. So that's how it looks and how it works. But how effective is it? Let's have a look here. First, we're going to test our sharpness. I'm going to open up Capture One here. So here we have no filter, the 1 to 5, the 6 to 9, the mist, the GND, the CPL, and the streak all together. So let's zoom right in here. 100%. As you can see, there is very little difference between these. Except for the focus point. Now the streak, you can see there is some streaking going on here. No surprise there. And these are all set to the same white balance. I adjusted the exposure ever so slightly to make sure they all matched because we're using density filters here. But the colors are so close. Now the gold streak, it yellows us out a little bit, which, I mean, it's supposed to. That's, that's kind of the name of the game. And as you can see on the reflective side here, our circular polarizer is doing its job. It cut the reflections of the side light. But oh my goodness, that is some sharpness. Fantastic. We have passed the sharpness test. Passed. Let's have a look at our flaring. The 1 to 5 and the 6 to 9. So as we can see here, there is very little change to the flaring effects. Let's see if we have a green orb somewhere in here. We almost always do with any filter, no matter what quality. Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. No, the only flaring artifacts I'm seeing are just dust on... Oh, there we go. Yeah. Got a couple of yellowish orbs, which is significantly better than having a green orb. Yeah, that's nice and organic. Very good performance for flaring. And that's at 16 millimeters at f8 because that is the flariest of the flary things. I used to try at different focal lengths, different apertures, but that's where the flares happen the most. Ultra wide, stop down. Alright, now we're going to do the X pattern test. So we're going to cycle this in auto ISO to see if we get an X pattern. And 69 gets pretty dark because, well, that's a lot of darkness. Now we see some darkening in the top right corner there. That is my hand. No X pattern. Now, I hear what you're saying. Everything has an X pattern. I mean, some people say that. But they are cheating a little bit here. Because this thing is gigantic. Look at the size of this. It is way bigger than my lens. This filter is so much bigger than this 82 millimeter filter lens. And that's a great way to prevent the X pattern from happening, is to overshoot the size of the lens. Because generally the X happens at the far fringes, while the far fringes are way out here. And as you can see, we have great performance even at 16 millimeters, even though we've got a lot of stuff going on in front here. We don't have any vignetting, we don't have any X pattern. Impressive. And also, as we saw earlier, another thing that we don't have is color shift. These things are so neutral. Again, impressive. Let's have a little look at the mist filter now. As you can see, this is pretty light effect. It just warms it up a little because the backlight is a warmer light, and so that spills into the rest of the image, lowers the contrast a little bit. And then if we do some skin tones, we have the mist, gold streak, no filter, and GND pushed all the way to the darkest, just so we can see how that looks. As you can see, still pretty subtle effects here. But at what cost? And that's what I was interested to know. If we bring up the pricing structure here, we see that a kit will cost you anywhere from $350 and up. That's including a fair amount of stuff here. So the base kit with the 2 V&Ds that lets you do CPL, you're looking at $350. Now that seems a little bit steep, but I mean, that's 2 filters. If you're looking at like the Polar Pro, which I honestly don't think is as neutral as this, it's going to need an update because some of the new stuff coming out is phenomenal. That's $250 on its own. If you get the 1 to 5 and the 6 to 9, you're looking at over $500. So already we're saving money here. But this is a chunky boy. This is a big thing. So if you're kind of run and gunning, this might be a better option for you, or, you know, a more traditional V&D. But if you're trying to get some really nice image quality, this is fantastic. Now, there are other accessories that you can add on to that for obviously more money. And you can check out those prices down in the link in the description below. If you have any questions or comments about this just absolutely ridiculous filter kit from Freewell, let me know. What do I think about it personally? Well, that's a tough one. I like smaller, more compact kits, so it kind of hurts my heart that this thing is so big. But it's big for a reason. I've been using this for a few weeks now, and the image quality has just never let me down. I've had lots of fun using the streak filter, but I have generally shied away from using VNDs. I've mostly just been using fixed neutral density filters because when I slap it on, I don't want to adjust my white balance or anything. I want it to just look perfect. And this is the closest I have seen yet to being truly neutral in a variable neutral density filter, and that's phenomenal. But this case, where am I going to put that? I'm going to need the bigger bag. Until next time, let's go take some photos.